Don and Jesperi, if you guys are good to go, we can get started.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm good.
All right, we'll take questions for Don and Jesperi. Just please raise your hand first. Go ahead, Sarah.
Hi, this question's for Don. Can you just walk us through the whole process of this offer sheet? Like, how long after the Aho offer sheet did you guys decide you were going to offer sheet a Canadiens player? When did it become Jesperi, et cetera?
Well, it actually didn't become an offer sheet even thought about. I talked to Mark Bergevin last week and the week before the offer sheet, and we talked about trading for the player. And that was on a Tuesday, and we worked through that Friday night trying to come up with a trade. And so Friday night we talked about taking it to potential offer sheet, and Saturday got it done, and we presented it Saturday afternoon.
Eric?
Actually, I have a question for both guys. Am I allowed to ask both, or you want me to just ask one?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. First question is for Don. Don, obviously, in order to get the player, you have to put a very substantial offer together to have it not be matched. How do you manage the expectations with the player internally so that he can perform at his best and not necessarily live up to the number that's been put on him, but live up to your own internal expectations?
Well, I think you hit it on the nose. When you make an offer sheet, you try to look at, we weren't making an offer sheet just to make an offer sheet. We wanted to make an offer sheet that we potentially could get the player. And so, I think everybody will look at it the same way. It's an acquisition cost of getting a young 21-year-old player. So I think that's it all makes sense. I've talked to a lot of our players on our team, and everybody understands the process. That's for sure.
Actually, sorry, Eric. Looks like we lost Jesperi there for a second. So while we're working to get him reconnected, we'll continue with Don, and we'll come back to you. Go ahead, Corey.
I was going to ask something for Jesperi, if I can just hold out a minute.
Sounds good. Chip?
Yeah, Don, were you surprised that the Canadiens did not match the offer sheet, and how are you going to make this work with the salary cap?
Well, I never knew what they were thinking. I said it was 50-50. Everybody's got cap issues these days, or a lot of teams do. And, so I couldn't, I didn't know which way they're going to go. We won't be in a cap situation. Gardner, who is going to have back surgery and hip surgery here, is going to not be ready to go this year. So we had cap space available, knowing that he'll go on LTI.
Jesperi, can you hear us? We'll continue with Don while we're working on that. Andrew, go ahead.
Don, you mentioned I think in the release that you guys put out yesterday that you guys, that Jesperi was a player who had been on your radar since his draft year. Obviously, you guys had the pick before he was taken in 2018. How much was he a guy that you and your scouts looked at in the process leading up to that draft, and how much did that information that you guys had gathered at the time on him play a role in the acquisition?
Well, certainly at that time, we discussed the player at great length, did interviews. Everybody's very familiar with the player as not only a player, but as a person. And, we made a decision, obviously, to draft Andre. So our amateur scouts, Darren York, who leads our amateur, was very much a big part of this when we were talking about what type of player that we saw in Jesperi and what type of player we feel he can be. So yes, I always say the draft, you interview a lot of players. This was different that year, but you interview a lot of players in the draft, and it's just for future knowledge. And obviously this one is a little different, but came to light as we start talking about this player.
Jesperi, you good now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, Jesperi, congratulations on the deal. I want to ask you, the confidence that Carolina is showing in you versus maybe the lack of confidence that Montreal showed in you and not matching this offer. How do you reconcile that in your head, and how do you approach the opportunity that's ahead of you?
Will be a great opportunity, and like you said, feeling confident the team is trusting you. That's always good for the player, and I'm just really excited for this opportunity, and just can't wait to get things started.
Corey.
Hey, yes, Barry. Welcome to Raleigh, at least virtually, I guess. Can you talk about maybe what made you decide to sign the offer sheet? Did you have any interest from anyone else? And also, did having a couple countrymen on the team that maybe you could talk to in that decision?
I just knew Carolina has a great team. Like you said, a couple of teams over there. I think there's one big cup contender next year, so it's always honored to be a part of a team like that.
Kevin.
Yeah, Don, can you, I'm sure you've talked to Rod about how you're going to use Jesperi. Can you kind of talk about, what you're expecting from him and how do you think he'll fit into your team?
Well, we have talked. We're going to talk more now that we know we have the player, but certainly we know his skill level. We know what he brings to the table. We actually think right now probably start him on left wing. We got Aho, Trocheck, and Stahl down the middle, and he'll get to play with some very good players. And we think he's got the skill to be able to do that. We were looking to add to our top group there, and to be able to add a player of Jesperi at 21 years old, it's only going to continue to get better. We feel very fortunate about that.
Thanks.
Arpon.
Thanks, Mike. I have a question for Jesperi, please. Hey, Jesperi. How would you describe your 3 years in Montreal? If you had to sum it up now that it's over, how would you characterize it?
I think there was a lot that happened. I think when I got there, the team was in the rebuilding kind of situation. And I think very quickly we ended up in the Stanley Cup Finals. So it was quite journey over there. Made a lot of good friends over there in 3 years. So I have really good memories over there. So it was a good time.
To what extent, if any, did the way you were used in the playoffs, not playing every game, minutes, whatever, go into your decision to want to, I guess, look at other options?
I mean, like I said, Carolina is a great team. Like I said, there will be a contender next year. Like I said, I just everyone wants to be a part of a team like that. So it was I think good decision from our side.
All right. Good luck, Jesperi.
Thank
Ken?
you.
Ken Campbell, go ahead.
Thanks. Don, I'm not sure if you've addressed this, but you said you talked to Montreal about acquiring the player. So you obviously wanted the player. But when it happened last week, it seemed like revenge was a big motivation in this transaction. Are you saying that's not the case? And if not, why did the organization handle the announcement the way it did? I can't hear him. I don't know about anybody else.
Sorry, I was on mute. It certainly was not revenge. We talked about this player. We know this player. You have an opportunity to get, we use the CBA as other teams have in the past try to acquire a 21-year-old player. So, to us, it was all about the player. We looked around the league and, thought this made the most sense from where we are in the team. As you know, we have a couple other good Finnish players on our team and thought this would be a great fit. So, the release, that's a marketing thing that, we're trying to continue to build our franchise here in Raleigh, trying to keep our fans engaged. Our social team gets huge marks from the NHL, and they had some fun with it.
Stu?
For Jesperi, just what was your initial reaction when you heard about the offer sheet from Carolina? And as a second part, have you heard from many of your former Canadiens teammates over the last 24 hours?
I was just really excited when I saw the offer sheet first time. Obviously, I start to think immediately how it would be over there, and had a good talks with with the Tom and the Carolina. So I was just really excited, and the other question I've been talking with my last year teammates a lot. They were real supportive with this decision, and they're just happy for me.
If I can ask just one more, how much do you know about life in Carolina, and do you think being in a market that's not as hockey crazy as Montreal might be advantageous to you moving forward?
I didn't know that much by myself, but I've been talking with the Finnish guys over there, so I only heard good things about them and the team and the city. So I think it will be a great fit for me.
Thanks, Jesperi. Good luck there.
Thank you.
John? John,
Thanks,
are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, just getting my pieces together here. Question for Don. Don, with respect to the not so subtle Easter eggs, the $15 in the cap hit, the $20 signing bonus, whose inspiration was that, and what was the motivation behind calling attention to the two players' uniform numbers in Kotkaniemi and Aho?
Well, again, we are trying to build our fan base here in Raleigh. We're not fortunate as Montreal or some other cities that have that sold out crowds every night. And our social team does an outstanding job of engaging our fans. And we were certainly aware of what we were putting out there, but we actually were doing it from nothing against Montreal at all. It was all for what we're trying to build here in Raleigh and continue. You've seen over the last few years since Tom's bought the team, we are pretty active socially and do a lot of things. And this is just another thing that we felt that was good for our fans.
Thanks, Don. And question for Jesperi. Jesperi, if you were to summarize your time in Montreal, experiencing the highs that you did, but going through a couple of bumps on the road during the playoffs, in terms of being a healthy scratch, how would you describe your tenure as a Canadian?
At the end, when I think the whole journey over there, I think it was a good run. Like I said before, there's ups and downs every time. So, I think that's normal. Like I said, I made some really good friends over there from the team and off the ice too. So, I think it's only good things to say about them.
Thanks, Jesperi.
Jean-Francois?
Hi guys, question for Jesperi. Jesperi, when you received the offer sheet and last Saturday, 6.1 million, was it pretty clear for you that Montreal will not be able to match, or during that week you were juggling about the idea of going back to Montreal or Carolina?
So it's hard to say. It's an interesting situation, but I think my agents and the teams will do more on that side. I'm just enjoying my time practicing and working out. Wow.
you've been talking about your agent. How can you describe the negotiation with Montreal before that offer sheet? Was there anything on the table for you for a short-term contract with the Canadiens?
Yeah, I think there was not that much talk about the contracts. Went really late. You know, summer's been really short this year, so there wasn't that much time before this happened. So, you know, I just said my agent I think did really good job, and you know, I'm really grateful for both teams.
Alexander?
Yeah, hi. Question for Jesperi. It's a pretty simple question. Jesperi, what do you plan on doing with the $20 signing bonus?
I just told my mom I'm gonna give that for her Christmas gifts. I think that's it.
By what exactly?
Let's go to Sarah.
Don, I'm just kind of wondering how much Tom Dundon was involved in this decision.
Well, Tom's involved in every decision we make as an organization. You know, he's very, very passionate about the team. We're very fortunate to have an owner that's going to spend the cap every year. You know, it's not a question about what we're going to spend; it's who we're going to spend it on. And so Tom's involved in every decision we make, and I think it's very helpful. I know Tom reached out to Jesperi himself, and I think, you know, it shows how an owner is involved as far as I'm very passionate for it, but we're very fortunate to have an owner that's willing to spend the money necessary. And, you know, it's the cap, and, you know, we don't talk about a budget with the team. We talk about how we're going to manage the cap. So Tom's very, very supportive of what decisions we make and very much involved in those decisions.
Marc-Antoine?
Yes, I got a question for Don and another one for Jesperi. First for Don, obviously you signed Jesperi for 1 year, but you must see him making sense on your team over the long term. In your discussions with him, with his agent, how much was what he's coveting over the long term played a role in deciding to offer sheet him?
Well, what we said is, let's take 1 year. Let's see. First of all, you know, we wanted to put a deal together that we thought made sense for us and for Jesperi, and, you know, we'll see how things play out. There's obviously things in the CBA that work in both favors, from a player's end and from a club's end. So, I also, you know, it's, as this player continues to develop and play more minutes than that, you know, we'll just see where the contract goes from there.
Okay, but you have an understanding of what he's looking for a longer term deal?
No idea. We never talked about it. We talked about a one year deal.
Okay, and for Jesperi, you were asked earlier about joining a team that is showing confidence in you. Did you sense, in the fact that you did not sign a contract with Montreal prior to that offer sheet, did you sense that on the Canadian side there was a lack of trust and belief in your ability and your potential as a player?
You know, it's hard to say. I think I had my role last 3 years, but you know, you can say I felt the confidence from the first second from Carolina. So you know, like I said, that feels good, and you know, just feels real good when someone's trusting you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, did you call on me, Brownie?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, this question for Don, just with training camp coming up now, can you just assess the team, what you like about the look of the team, and maybe your concerns, if you have any?
No, I think we had a lot of changes this year, and some changes that we feel really good about. You know, we've now with this latest edition, we feel like we're very good up front, and we think we strengthen our back end with some of the new additions. And we obviously went into the goalie market knowing that we wanted more experience, and we came out of there getting what we wanted. So I think overall now, you know, we got to prepare and the tale will be once we start playing games. But as we approach training camp in the season, I think we all feel really good about our hockey club.
Andrew, go ahead.
Yes, Barry, have you spoken with Rod Brind'Amour at all, and how excited are you about getting to play for him as a part of this?
I haven't been on the phone yet, but I just exchanged a couple of text messages this morning, and feels great to have a old player as a coach. You can tell he's been doing a great job over there over the years, and you can see from the style of the Hurricanes how they play. There's an old player on the coaching seat.
All right, we'll take two more. Go ahead, Ken.
Oh yeah, okay. One more for Don and one for Jesperi. Don, whose idea was the $20 signing bonus? Was it yours? Was it Tom's? Was it the social team?
Let's say it was a group effort. I won't. We talked about it. We had a call about how we were going to approach it, and so it came off a call that we all were on together. So
okay.
I'm not going to tie it to one particular person.
Okay. And Jesperi, how do you feel about how the Montreal Canadiens have developed you as a player?
I think could have been better. Could have been better, but like I said, we played in the Stanley Cup Finals last year, so can't really blame anything. I think at the end it was a pretty good run, like I said.
Last one, Stu.
Thanks a lot. Jesperi, I'm just wondering, have you had any communication at all with Marc Bergevin over the last week since the offer sheet was made?
Yeah, we were on the phone a little bit during the week.
What was his message to you? And did he ever explain to you or about being the healthy scratch the last two games in the Stanley Cup final? And how much did that maybe lead to what's happened since?
No, not that much. Just normal conversation about little stuff. It wasn't that big of a deal about any healthy scratch stuff or anything. But it was a good conversation.
Thanks, Jesperi. Thanks for the opportunity to ask another question too. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Don. Thanks, Jesperi. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.